Good morning, beautiful souls. I always want to look better or be decent, but sometimes the message has to come when the message has to come. And I was about to slip into meditation, and I was getting messages so clearly, so soon, that I knew I had to come on here and speak with you. Take in some deep breaths. Imagine a white light energy of love breathing in. And we're pushing out all of the energy we've collected that we no longer need or no longer serves us. Spirit wanted me to tell you that the only defense the shadow has is to move quickly. They're moving quickly because the planet's moving quickly. For everything we do, they do something else. We do something, they do something. It's a spiritual war. And yes, there's wars going on all over the planet. Yes, that's true. But this spiritual war is so different. It's so different. And humans are more intelligent than they've ever been because we have expanded our minds and our hearts and our souls. We don't have the same bandwidth that we had before, but it's a different bandwidth. It's a good bandwidth. So remember, when the sitting American president said, when I get in there, I'm going to do a lot of things really quickly. It's going to shake things up, blah, blah, blah. No, what he's trying to do is do a mass takeover control. And we've seen it in history. The sad thing is that him and his little camp, it's kind of crazy because they're like over and over doing the same things that other people did. I mean, down to the fact that the sitting American president's wife used Michelle Obama's speech. I mean, did they think people wouldn't see that? I mean, it's just, do they really, it's like, let's put it this way. For those of you who think he's so great or think these leaders are so great, they're insulting your intelligence, that you're so fucking stupid that you won't get it. Prove them wrong. Come from your heart. I cry. I look at things all day long and I cry because I see how beautiful humans are. I see how the animals are working double, triple time, trying to show us just how amazing we are. I'm about to get cut off, but you know what? Maybe I'll make it a two-parter. So remember that everything that we are doing to elevate the vibration, the shadow's going to come in with that fucking guillotine and try and cut us off at the quick again. But we're kind of like the worm. We just keep coming. We're like, nope, sorry. We're the good parasite. If you want to, I was saying that the shadow was like the parasite, that the sitting American president is like a parasite, you know, their actions and the things they're doing. It's very parasitic. I mean, honestly, just, you know, look at patterns, look at things, look at history. I mean, he's literally doing, so many people, especially really intelligent historians, are like, hello, this is exactly what Hitler did. This is exactly what he did. This is what they've been doing through time and history. Takeovers. Why do you think he, took over all these companies and, you know what I mean? That's what he does. And he thinks he's making it a great again. He's not making it great again. He's trying to control it. He's trying to take control of the world. And he makes these false promises and people still listen. It's like, dude, he's not doing it. Yeah, come on. It's like, I'm a magician, motherfucker, and I can't even go in with a magic wand and like just go stop the wars, everybody. You know what I mean? I have more power to do that than he does, like with my love and my heart and my soul, like as a light worker, And remember that we were born of light. We created the shadow to see how far we could take it. And now we're just bringing the power back to the light, and he doesn't like that, and the shadow doesn't like that. They don't even realize that's what's happening, and they're being ruled by that. It's a very interesting, very auspicious time. That's become my favorite word of 2025. And I swear, I've had so many experiences in the last few weeks over the Lionsgate portal that that's why I'm in bed. That's why I'm laying in bed right now, because also I've been sleeping naked, you guys, and it's like a game changer. I slept naked with Alder a lot, but he just runs so hot. Like, he's just that person that runs really hot. And because I get hot really easily, I triple Sag, third Deacon Leo, come by it honestly. I can't. It's just like sometimes it was like sleeping next to a furnace and you couldn't get out, and you're just like, I was like, I have to open a window, it's so hot in here. But anyway, sleeping naked is very freeing. It's very freeing, especially if you live alone. It's just wonderful. And, if you have the right blankets and the right temperature, and, just, I do things like I keep, my, because sometimes I can't even sleep with socks on anymore. But I keep socks and, things close to my bed, clothes or a robe that, if I have to get up to go to the bathroom or something, and it's like right there, so you don't have to get up and go across the room if you're cold. But I'm telling you, sleeping in a colder room is actually better for you. It's better for the air. And there's just so many things. And we're just changing and improving and growing. He doesn't want that. They don't want that. It's not the 1% anymore. There's a lot of people who are very, very rich. They don't want that. That's why some of these people support what he's doing right now, going into DC with the fucking martial law. There's like, I'll be honest with you, because I've lived in cities most of my life. I'm kind of torn. I'm kind of torn. There's one side of me that understands what he's doing. I think he needs to do that. It's gotten out of control. So I do understand that, because I have seen places where I've lived that used to be so beautiful and whatever. And it's like, it's scary. Like, it's literally scary. You're going to get mugged. You're going to get raped. You're going to get killed. Like, it's not a joke. There's like this lawlessness that happened. Now, mind you, it's because of him. It's like, that's what you created, dude. You and your fucking rich minions, like all of you guys and your ancestors, from these different time periods. It's like, they created that. They created that. So now we're dismantling that, because we're just like, no, you can't do that. You can't just decide how you want things to go. It's like, you created that. And so in a weird way, he's cleaning up his own mess, but he's not doing it, right? Like, of course, you don't see him out there fucking doing it. Like, it's kind of like, you want to be a king? Then be like the real kings. Because the real kings, like Aragorn, speak your truth, like Aragorn, you want to be a king, sir? Any of you, you want to be a leader, you want to be a king, you want to rule a country? Take some notes from Aragorn. Watch the Lord of the Rings series, because all of those actors did such a phenomenal job. I read those books as a kid, and it was everything and then some for me. I remember going to the theater for the first time, and I was blessed enough to be living in LA at the time that I got to see it at the Grauman's Chinese Theater. A big, like, it was awesome. It was unbelievable. It sits like, I don't know, 1,000 people. The screen is so big, it just like, it blows your fucking socks off. When I was growing up, I always like to sit in like the first like 7 rows, because I was short and whatever. But that screen is so big that it's like, if you get really close, it's like, it could feel really intimidating. Anyway, I digress. So what I'm saying is that Aragorn didn't sit back in his fucking castle like that one king who let his sons go, right? And then he's all like upset because, oh, my boy. And it's like, well, where the fuck were you? It's like, I mean, we know why and all that, and it's a big story. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't see him down in the trenches trying to talk to the, home free homeless people. Like, I don't see him doing that, like trying to change things. Instead, he's like, I'm just going to hire people to do it, because that's all he's ever done. You didn't go to war, sir. You didn't fucking go to war. You didn't fight for your country. I'm rich. Give me a doctor's note. I don't want to fight in the war. Interesting. It's your ancestors, the people that you fucking rub shoulders with. And let's talk about the files, shall we? I don't like to use names, but we all know what I'm talking about. You want to come for me? Come for me. I'd really like to see you come for me, because I'm ready. I'm ready. I've been preparing for this for 53 years, and I've been preparing for this for many lifetimes. Are you ready? Are you ready, shadow energies? Because my light workers, my band of warriors behind me, we're ready. Archangel Michael, we're family. Like I said earlier, I'm all fire. And my moon's in Scorpio. So, you can do my birth chart. You want to see exactly who I am? December 13th, 1971, 7:02 a.m. If all that's correct. Look at my birth chart. I was born in Joliet, Illinois, at Silver Cross Hospital. Research me. I have nothing to hide. Literally. Literally. I got warrior paint, but it's on the inside. So you can slather all this fake tan and all this to make you look whatever. You know what? My heart bleeds for you, sir. My heart bleeds for you, sir. And I call you sir because I will give you that respect that it takes a lot of work to fucking create that much darkness and shadow. So I'm grateful to you. I mean, honestly, I was going to say I'm grateful for you, but I'm grateful to you. And I'm grateful for you because we co-created you. We allowed it. Our ancestors did the best they could with what they had. But now we are the best of the best, the creme de la creme. And that's why the tides are turning. He's moving faster and faster and faster, aren't you, sir? He's moving faster and faster and faster and faster because he knows the planet's moving faster. The light is catching. Love moves so much quicker than hate. Hate is deep-rooted and deep-seated. Shadow is deep-rooted and deep-seated, and it's created by pain, by suffering, by trauma, by lack. You didn't have enough love. I get it. I've seen things with your dad. I'm sorry. I'm a telepathic medium. I know everything about you. And you know why? Because you're an open book. So does every other light worker. That's why you're easier to stand up to and see. And that's why you were put in this position. So I thank you. I really genuinely do. I thank you for your awesomeness and your fucking tenacity. But karma never forgets an address, and Kali Ma is coming for you. Stop now before it gets out of hand. This is a warning from the light. So you can't take anything from us. There's so many of us, and so many of us are here everywhere. We're all over. So you think that it's an accident? What happened in Russia? Every major thing that happens on the earth like that makes me realize we're one step closer to being back into our fifth dimensional energy. So I know that people are dying, but people are going to die. We're all going to die. There's no, it's that little boy from, I love that scene. And what about Bob? He's like, we're going to die. We're all going to die. And Bill Murray's like, trying to find a way to help this kid. He realizes that this kid has these phobias and problems just like him. And he realizes that there's more important things than that. And we start to realize that even that, phobias, OCD, all of these things, Alzheimer's, they're all things, they're all forms of communication with ourself in the world of what needs to change. And, you look at someone like Michael J. Fox, who has always been a beacon of light and continues to be a beacon of light. And you can see it's hard. You can see, and I'm sure as he ages, it probably is worse. I can only imagine. I have lifetimes of pain and suffering. I can see it I can see it. So some people may look at my life and think, wow, that sucks, man. Why are they living like that? Every time it starts to take me over, I remember all the times that I manipulated, just like you, sir. I was like, oh, I'm going to manifest this thing. But if it didn't come as fast as I wanted it to, that's okay. I would make it work. I knew I mean, I had people who would literally say to me, dude, you have like powers and shit. I'm like, and now looking back and I'm like, I did. I've always had this. I've always been this. It's just I didn't realize what I was doing. So a lot of the things that I'm going through now are karma for the things that I did, the choices that I made, the people I aligned with, the choices they made, and I looked the other way, things that were said until finally I couldn't look away anymore. It made me sick. I was like, you're my blood and bone. Don't fucking say that. That's disgusting. They're human beings. Don't call them that because of the color of their skin. What's wrong with you? Like, I couldn't, it was like, I may be the baby, but I'm like, I'm the only fucking adult in this room. And I was like, don't get it twisted. And that's why I realized I'm like, I tried to go soft. I tried to go kind. I tried to be loving. I did everything I could. And then I was like, nope. Southside Chicago Kelly, man, she's coming for you, all of you. So I was like, I feel like it's gonna, the Lionsgate portal closed, and in real time, it is the 14th, but it's technically a 13 day, which is my day and my number. And Thursdays are my day too, because Thursday's Thor's day and Jupiter. And yeah, my triple Sag, Moon in Scorpio and third decan Leo. I'm still in Leo season. We're still in the Leo moon and we're in the shadow of it. And then we're going into the shadow season. So eclipse season is in September and it's on a full moon in Pisces, which is going to be some shit. So basically until the year of the horse, which I believe is February 17th, the horse comes riding in, which is the symbol of freedom. We're in the rebirth stage of the year of the snake. And it doesn't surprise me that they kept calling the sitting president and all of these, dark forces the reptilians. I'm like, well, that would kind of make sense. She's a cold-hearted snake, that song, right? But snakes are beautiful and they're lovely. And I have never seen more snakes in my life than I have where I live right now. And they've been surrounding me and talking to me. And yeah, I was like, I just like kind of winked at the snake energy because, they're so sinew and beautiful. It's also a very divine feminine energy. So just when I looked up, it was 1715. 17 is a number for our tribe. And 17 is 8. We're in an 8. We're in the 8th month. 8 is about infinity. And 5s are about change and transformation. And I just said it's the number 13. And 13 is the number of the divine feminine, the divine goddess. And I love that Taylor is dropping an album in October. Like, I mean, by the way, if you haven't seen her recent podcast with the Kelsey brothers, I mean, I love them all together. I love them all together. It's so awesome. I love their friendship. You can tell it's real. You can tell this is real. Their relationship is real. It's just, it's so amazing. I've literally like, I feel like between that and football season, and I have a feeling this is Travis Kelce's last year, just because he wants to do a lot of things, and I get that, and I feel like he loves football so much that I feel like he's been training like Rocky, like he's coming to win it. He's going for it. I feel like he's going for that fucking Super Bowl so he can get one more. But I feel like even if he doesn't, I feel like this is it for him because I just get this vibe. He's going to be 36 in October. And I know that some players play until they're 40, but he's so special. He has so much to give and share. And I really genuinely wouldn't be surprised if they're either married already or they're really planning on it, because when they were talking, I don't normally say things like this, but I saw a lot of things. They were so open and lovely. They weren't open like, interestingly enough, like I didn't see like shadow or I just felt goodness. That's all I felt was goodness and light. All I felt was purity and love. And, the Kelsey brothers talk about all the time, it's like they may be tough football players, but they're big teddy bears, they're super soft. And, watching Travis, oh, I'm starting to cry. watching both of the brothers tear up, watching Taylor cry and tear up about getting her master's back was like, I was like, dude, this is fucking awesome. And a lot of times because my brain wanders and I can like do so many, I'm starting to cry. I can do so many things at once. It was like one of the first times that I just like, I was like, where's my popcorn? Like, I was just like, I just want it because I was an hour and 45 minutes. I'm like, I don't know if I want to sit and listen to them for an hour and 45 minutes. And I was like, people listen to me for hours, you know? But it was so easy. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was, I could listen to them, all three of them, like all day long. It was really good. And Jason did a really good job. And, but like, I was like, Travis, sweet Trav, you know? That's from Overboard. Uh, it just made me laugh in this scene where he's like, we didn't do it, Dad. It was Roy. Because she keeps calling the kid the wrong name. When we first moved up to Washington, we were living in Tenino. And then we ended up moving to Yelm. But we almost moved to Roy. It was really close. And every time we loved Roy. It's a really cool area. It's right below Mount Rainier. And every time we went there, I'm sure Alder, after living there for 5 years, I'm sure he was sick of it. Although sometimes he'd start laughing because he knew too. But I'd be like, I would just like burst out like every time I'd see the sign. I'm laughing just because I love that movie so much. And that scene, that actor, that kid actor is so good. Because she's like, he's like, what's his name, buddy? And she's like, Roy? He's like, no, it's Trav. Sweet Trav, Travis. So it just makes me laugh anyway. I digress. But yeah, so there's just like a lot of interesting things that are happening. And I just feel like I just feel really positive. I just feel really good. And I want you guys to feel positive and good because, yeah, we're going to see some shit. We've already been seeing some shit, but you got to remember that he's in rapid fire mode. It's like, think of it like a machine gun. He's coming at us like with a machine gun, like a spiritual machine gun. And that's why light workers are coming back like, okay, cool. That's why do you think like, I mean, if, for those of us who like follow astrology, and I'm sure for the astrologers, like I said to Spirit, I'm like, why wouldn't you have made me an astrologer? That makes no sense to me. Like, I mean, because most astrologers have some type of seeing ability anyway, you know, or like just like an intuitive ability to use astrology to, you know, tell us like what's going to happen. But some astrologers are really powerful and really good. And they do what I do, and they're an astrologer. And those are the ones that I'm like, I'm not worthy, you know. Wayne's World. I know I'm not going to live here forever, but it's starting to like wear down my nerves. But it's been an interesting time, and I know I'm in my sensei training and I'm here for it. And I just want you guys to know that I'm here for it. And on the last day of the Lionsgate portal, Alder and I went up to Hurricane Ridge, and we've been trying to go up there for 10 years. 10 years. Another reference, if you remember the Sex and the City movie, when Carrie announces that they're getting married and Charlotte's like, she screams and she stands up at the restaurant and like freaks out and she's like, I'm sorry, you guys. And she like has to tell everybody, and Carrie's like, I'm mortified. She's like, I'm mortified for you. Cynthia Dixon. Not Samantha, Miranda. Anyway, because she's just like, my friend's getting married. And she's like, and we never thought it would happen. And she's like, oh my God. She's like, stop, you know? But that's kind of how it was for us when we went up to, I mean, I've already posted one thing, but I have so much to post. I spoke to Spirit when I was up there. It was just magical. It was just magical. We ran into so many people. We spoke with so many people. We had these like amazing moments. We even had a guy who, he looked like he wasn't well. And I was like, do you need some water? And he's like, if you have, or I had a bag of stuff and I had food and water. And Alder and I always share our water because when we're hiking, it's already like we're carrying, you know, our food and our, you know, me sometimes like my phone, and we're just carrying a lot of things. So we try to keep it light. So we just bring one water and share it. And he's like, if you have an extra water, I would really appreciate that. And I said, well, I don't, but I mean, you can have some of mine. I'm like, if it's not too, you know, I'm like, whatever you need to do, I'm like, you can have some. And he's like, okay. And I said, also, I have some celery. I'm like, if you need some celery. And I packed the celery in water. So, and now I've moved completely to glass containers because, I mean, I mean, I've always had a weird vibe about the plastic anyway, but I definitely now more than ever. I remember my mom was like, I can't have anything in plastic that tastes it. You know, she's like, I have to have real glass. And I was like, me too, I get it. So anyway, I was like, eat some celery. I'm like, it's been like literally soaking in water. I'm like, you know, and I was trying to offer some to his friend, and his friend was like, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. But we kept hearing stories from everybody because we had a huge heat wave up here. It doesn't normally get that hot. It was 75 and pure sun in the mountains. So the only clouds we had were unfortunately from the fires that were happening on the other side of the peninsula. But we were on the ocean, or the straight side going out into the ocean. So it wasn't so bad. But anyway, you know, when we were up there, I just had all these experiences. It was so busy. It's one of the busiest places on the Olympic Peninsula. And I knew with every, oh, I'm getting the chills. I knew with every fiber of my being why Spirit wanted me to be up there. And even at one moment, Alder and he wanted to go to this one spot so bad. And I was like, babe, I don't think we can get up there today. I'm like, I think it's further away than you think it is. And I said, I'm not dressed for it. I'm like, I don't have I had my gym shoes. I don't have any. I'm like, I need good hiking boots. I'm like, my ankles were hurting, everything in my body, my toes were hurting, because when you're in gym shoes, even though they're really good gym shoes and they have that like where the sole comes up around the toe, that's got tread. So it's like, they're good, but not for the kind of hiking we were doing. Like, that's like, you need real boots, real hiking boots. You need to have ankle support. So I was like, let's wait until I get some boots, and let's do that another day. I'm like, I just have this vibe. We're not meant to do that today. And he's like, we're like 3/4 of the way there. I'm like, I know. I'm like, I know. But then later, after like everything, he's like, you were right. He's like, I got the vibe just now too. You were right. Like, he's like, we shouldn't. I go, I know, because it was like his goal. He wanted to get up there, but we were up there. I mean, we were like eye to eye with, Mount Olympus. Like, we were eye to eye. Like, we were up there. It was magical. We had a picnic up there. It was just so amazing. And, I highly recommend, like, if you come to the Olympic Peninsula, I highly recommend you visit. So anyway, I know this has been all over the place kind of, but I feel like there was a lot of things that Spirit wanted me to say, and I was going to do just like a podcast version, but I feel like they wanted me to show you, like, it's time for us to spend more time in our skin. One of the things I miss the most about when we were working on the rent-to-own cabin, the place that we were, unless you like had a camera from outer space, like, you couldn't see us. And so Alder and he really got me into naked time, and I treasured naked time. It's one thing to be naked in your house. There's something else about being naked in nature. I mean, I never got into Naked and Afraid, but I don't like fear concepts anyway. But in fact, if you want to laugh your fucking ass off, watch the SNL did a thing on Naked and Afraid with Peter Dinklage and oh gosh, what's her name? The black comedian. I was saying African American forever. My one friend was like, dude, I'm black. You don't have to, I know you're trying to be nice, but she's like, I get all that. She's like, but fuck that. She's like, I'm not an African American, She's like, I'm from Africa, but I'm an American. And I was like, that was interesting. She's like, I'd rather you call me African or black than African American. I was like, that's interesting. So, and that's her take on it, right? Like, everybody has their own take. Anyway, but Leslie Jones. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. I'm almost positive that's her name. Anyway, they're Naked and Afraid it's a celebrity thing, and they're being themselves. So that's what's so fucking funny about it. It's like, it's so fucking funny. It makes me laugh so hard I can't even. In fact, I may watch this after this. That episode, Alder and I died between that one and Space Pants. It was like, they need to bring Peter Dinklage back to Saturday Night Live, because honestly, he's like one of the funniest motherfuckers. His comedic timing is her. Leslie too, of course, but she was on there as a regular. Anyway, so they want us to, keep our vibrations high, but also just having awareness, like being very aware, that of like what's happening, so you guys can kind of align your energy. That's what the Lionsgate portal was here to remind us, to align our energy. So I kept wanting to go to all these different places, and Alder was like, I'm feeling Hurricane Ridge. I'm like, yeah, me too, but I feel like we're meant to go by water too. I was really confused, but it was interesting because after we were done hiking, we ended up going down to the river to wash off because we were filthy because, it's been dry, it's summertime. So it was, we got like really, sorry, I'm gonna be careful. I'm like, well, because I have, it's a duvet. So sometimes I have to be careful when the feathers poke through. I would never buy anything with animals. You guys know I'm vegan, but I buy a lot of things used. So it already happened. And I actually have been, I've been literally saying to Spirit, I'm like, please, I need to put some stuff, check out my wish list. And you can send me stuff that's not on my list. But it's on my channel. There's a link to my wish list for Amazon. But what I really want is like some organic, like really nice bedding. That's like, it's organic, no animals, like, but organic fibers and organic, like on the outside, bamboo is really good because it's good if you're hot or you're cold, cotton, things like that. But I'm like, I mean, this is a down, everything I have pretty much is down except for the mattress. So I'm getting poked and it starts to get itchy. And yeah, I guess I've seen better days, but whatever. Um, but yeah, ending up at Hurricane Ridge was so powerful because we were so high up there. We were at like the tippy top. And it was cool because we drove as far as we can go, and then we had to, and I mean, I kept hearing, climb every mountain, right? And search high and low with her very low voice. Like, it was like, follow every rainbow, every path I mean, it was just, I took so much footage. I mean, I have footage for years. I mean, I took pictures, I took video, I met people, I had conversations. It was like, the most magical thing. And wait till you see this video that I took where I saw the portal. I literally caught the portal on camera. It's so amazing. I don't know when they're going to have me post it, but just stay tuned, you guys. There's so many fucking cool things happening. But yeah, I don't understand what's going on with the Amazon thing. I'm going to be serious with you here. To me, I'm like, I just kind of feel like these people, whatever. But at the same time, I get this vibe from Spirit that they do want me to because there's something going on there too. And I got this vibe from Spirit that was like, don't be hating on Jeff Bezos. And I was like, what is that supposed to mean? So, you guys, we have to remember that in every war, especially in Cold Wars, there are many people who bat for both sides, or it looks like they're going somewhere down the middle. I can't believe they're having me talk about this, but the other night I had a dream about Elon Musk, and I've never, that I can ever fucking remember, ever having a dream about Elon Musk, okay? And interesting that I'm saying his name, but I didn't say, and I said Jeff's name too, but I didn't say the names of the other guys. That's interesting. So, sorry, it's just my hands are tired. I got really fried, and also I was using my camera so much the other day that like literally, like, and I've just been working around the property. I've just been like on overtime. That's why they have me like this, and you haven't seen a lot of readings or stuff. I'm taking a break. I worked balls to the wall for the fucking Lionsgate portal. Like, I worked balls to the fucking wall, and I am really tired. But the craziest thing about the dream is I don't remember all of it, but they're just giving me a tie-in. Do you guys remember when I had that dream or I said, I don't know if I had a dream or I astral traveled, where I said I was in like a castle or a mansion or something, but it felt like a castle. Like if it was a mansion, it was like really old, like stone on the outside, but like that really beautiful wood on the inside. And it kind of reminded me of, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Zoe Kravitz's movie was actually initially called Pussy Island. And a lot of people were saying that they felt like that that's what it was based on that island. So in my dream, that's what it felt like. I remember I was thinking the island of Dr. Moreau, like all these things, but I wasn't dreaming. I was astral traveling, and I just remember that I was like in a female body, and I was um like picking a lock. Like I had gotten inside an office somehow. I was beautiful. I was like a supermodel, and I was a woman, and I mean, you know what I'm saying. Um, I'm just trying to like maybe some of you can see it through my mind because you guys are light workers too. And it was just like it was like really heavily like wood paneling, like an office or like a study or something. And I was trying to unlock something. And somebody walked in and they were like, "What are you doing in here?" And like I had to use my body, like I had to use sex as a, stop using sex as a weapon, right? Like, um, it was very interesting. And then, like, I was led back out into this hallway, and I saw our sitting American president in there, and I saw all these other people in there. So I know, and he knows that we know. He knows that like Sears, why do you think like he keeps making fun of the woke movement? He doesn't want people to see that we know. But why do you think mediums are popping up everywhere? And people who are skeptics are like, there's no fucking way. We're here to break that, to be like, yeah, you've been using dark magic. Now we're going to use light magic. That's why we were blessed to be here. That's why they killed us. That's why they burned us. That's why they fucking drowned us. That's why they did all that shit. Because we were like, nope, stop doing that. Stop doing that. You're taking their free will. We were the guardians of the planet, the Lemurians, and so many of us, but a lot of us were born and bred like we are angels. We were from the angel realm. We helped co-create and design this planet, and we were brought here to be guardians of the earth, just like the ants in the trees, and I can go on and on and on. We are guardians. That's why sometimes you see sometimes I've been deep in the mountains, in the Olympic Mountains. One time Aldrin and I were so deep in the mountains we got lost. We ran out of gas. It was kind of scary. I'm like, dude, we're in the middle of fucking nowhere. I don't know if anybody's even gonna find us. Sure enough, here comes this lady in a bonnet, a handmade cloth bonnet, like from the little house on the prairie era. Seriously. And she was in her 80s, and she was telling me about her great grandmother, and they were one of the first white families on the peninsula. And I was like, what? Because it's all native up here. There's a lot of tribes up here. So I've just seen so many things and had so many experiences. And so we had this moment with these elk, a whole herd of elk in the middle of the elk that live in the Olympic Mountains, in the whole rainforest, one of the last like real rainforests on the planet, one of the most beautiful ecosystems. So I'm telling you, this elk stopped and looked at us, and like we had like Alder and I were, I'm like, like I couldn't get my camera, like I couldn't. It was almost like I was in a trance, and I was like, dude, that was a sentient being, you know. And this herd that walked by us, I mean, that was the first time I ever saw elk like that. And I'm from Chicago, so I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, dude, those are, and we had worked on this farm, you know, or actually, no, at that point, we hadn't worked on the farm, but I had just personally seen horses, you know, big horses in my life. But I was like, I'm like, they were bigger than horses. I was like, I've never seen, they weren't deer, you know what I mean? Like, I had never seen anything like that. And just hearing them bellow, it's like, whoa, you know, it's like, and you can't even, I mean, I can't even replicate it. It's so magical. But yeah, there's a lot of cool shit that's happening on this planet right now. And it's just hold the light. That's all I can say. Hold your faith, hold the light. Every day say, I believe in magic and miracles. I know that magic is real, you know, because that's how we fight back. When we say, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to work. I don't want to be your slave. I don't want to be your worker bee. I don't want to be your drone. I want to work when I want to work. I want to rest when I want to rest. And it's none of your fucking business when I do that. You know, if you work for somebody and they have a schedule and they have to keep a schedule, like a feeding schedule for animals, things like that, like I get that. But that's something you sign on for. But like, you know, the Matrix was literally put there for a reason for us to see it. Why do you think it starts with him in a cubicle with everybody else? If you haven't watched the Matrix series, again, I highly suggest that you watch it, and watch it from the very first one to the current ones, you know, the more current ones. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, and interesting, I was watching this thing, speaking of Zoe Kravitz, talking about, you know, staying at Taylor Swift's house when the fires happened, her and her mom, Lisa Bonet, and Lisa Bonet has a pet snake named Orpheus. I mean, come on. It's like, I almost feel like where I'm like, geez, like this is the shit I've been seeing, all these like patterns and like, you know, whatever I've been seeing since I was a kid. But all my life when I would say, don't you think that means something? My family, friends, you know, teachers, boss would be like, it's just a coincidence. Gosh, why do you have to read into everything? Everything means something to you. I'm like, yeah, because it does. And now I realize I'm like, I wasn't crazy. I wasn't whatever. I've always been woke. And he doesn't want you to be woke. He wants you to fucking do what he wants you to do. We're all seeing through the bullshit. So I'm telling you something. When I saw Elon Musk in my dream the other night, I saw him walking up to this window, and then around the window was like built-ins. Like I said, it was a really old house. It was built-in shelves. And I don't even know. It was like he did it himself. But now looking at it, I'm like, I'm wondering if somebody did it to him and like all I saw was him, because I was back in that room and they showed me him looking like he was walking, almost like he was being like shoved. And he was looking at me like almost like dead in the eyes, like a robot. It was fucking weird. And then all of a sudden they showed him smash his own face into the side of the bookcase and fall to the ground. And I was like, what the fuck? Like when I woke up, I was like, what the fuck kind of shit is that? Because you guys know I work when I'm sleeping and when I'm awake. So I was like, it wasn't a dream. I'm like, that was like, unless it was like, it could be, you know, I call it subconscious city when I'm dreaming, because it's a city. It's always a city. And, you know, I'm hardly ever in nature in my sleep time. And when I am, it's because I'm like with ancestors in the mountains somewhere and I'm like collecting data. I'm getting downloads, you know, but this was different. This was fucking different. This was weird. This was like he was a robot. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know, because I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if like he's got somebody else tied in somewhere that was, you know, they're making these robots that are really human. That's why they're coming out with Megan 2.0 and all these things like that, because they're making these, you know, I'm like starting to wonder if they're actually humans, but they are like somehow controlling their brain, because we've been under a mass control for decades and decades and decades, you know, millennia. We've been under control. And now that they can't, and they realize, they always knew that this was they always knew the age of Aquarius was going to come back in. Don't get it twisted. They know. I mean, you know, do you think it's an accident that there's an obelisk in Washington, D.C. and that it's lined with crystals? I mean, come on. You know, it's like, it's just all this fakery and fuckery that we've had to endure. And now it's like, no, we're awake. See, because he can't kill me. If they came in here right now and dragged me out and, you know, put me in prison or tried to kill me or whatever, these kind of things will be out. And there's enough people who will know. And that's what's happening. It's like the internet is working for them, but it's working against them too, because they started the whole fake news thing. You know, he's been planted. His seed has been planted. They planted him to have his own show, to get people to like him. Because there are many people who have said since the beginning, they're like, you know, oh, I've always known he was a charmer, or like, I've always known, you know, blah, 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 blah. Like, you know, a lot of celebrities are speaking up more now, because they're like, you know, they're realizing like if they don't say something, that it's just gonna get worse. And it's like, yeah, you need to use your So I don't think it's an accident. There are no accidents. And, Taylor released, they released the commercial for the Heights because Taylor's never done a podcast before, and her first podcast is on her. Of course, she's going to go on her boyfriend and his brother's podcast, right? And it's mainly like a sports. I've never watched like full episodes, but I've seen snippets of it. But I mean, I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100%. So if I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. But I'm pretty sure it started, if it's not even as a sports podcast. But at the same time, it's like, Taylor's like so massive, and she's come into the fold of, the NFL, whether people like it or not. And she's changed the face of NFL, and it's become a whole different thing. So it's very, very interesting, like all these things that are happening, because you guys know I grew up, I was a cheerleader for a huge chunk of my life, and mostly football. I did basketball as well when I was in junior high and high school. But even that, I mean, I loved being a cheerleader when I was a little girl in my town, and then for my junior high. But then when I got to high school, after a year, like I quit halfway through basketball season, because I was like, this is not me. My team, our cheerleaders were better than our football players. You know what I mean? Like we went to state, and it wasn't, I loved being a cheerleader, like when it was like more fun in like the 70s and the 80s, early 80s. But when it started to turn to, whatever, it was like, I was like, no. And I was a gymnast. So that like, it was so crazy. I mean, we were athletes, we were full on athletes, but it was just too much for me. And I was like, no, it was like a profession. It felt like a profession. And I was like, no, these girls are going for it. Like, these are like the girls that are going to do this in college. And I was like, this isn't me. And then I turned way, way more into the stoner and like this, theater and like all that, because I realized I'm like, this isn't my jam. It was the jam growing up, because it was the closest thing I could do that was like a community fun thing with my friends. And I loved being a cheerleader. I mean, look at me now. I'm like, I'm a natural, like, you could do it. Come on. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, go, 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 go. I would get so into it, especially as an empath. I was a phenomenal cheerleader. I still am, but I'm just like, I'm wide-eyed. You know what I mean? I am woke, sir. Right? Like, we are woke. It's like, you can make fun of it all you want, but it's like, woke means that we're on to you. It means we're fucking on to you, dude. It's like, so there's more of us than you. And for those of you who are still asleep, look at what they're doing. Look at what's happening. Look at all the falsehoods. Look at all the bullshit. He is using what's so gross about what's happening? It's like he said, oh, I was a good boy the first time around or something. I saw this fucking thing with him, and I was like, wow, he's just like outwardly, like, he's just saying it now. Like, he's just like, now he's really trying to see how much he can get away with. So he's literally using every fucking loophole in our justice system to get away with what he's doing. Because even the own police are like, dude, we're fine. Like, we don't need this. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, we've got it under control. And he's like, no, you don't. I'm bringing in the militia. And it's like, there's just like all these little things. So because he says, he's like, I'm not breaking any laws. If I feel threatened, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, they're a Democrat. They're going to say that. And it's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, that's where I'm like, dude. So please, I implore you, I beg you with everything I am, keep your eyes wide open. Keep your ears wide open. Keep your heart wide open. And definitely use your third eye and your human brain to say, you know what? That seems kind of fucking shady. Or that doesn't seem right. Or, I said to Alder, I'm like, what's been interesting is, I'm like, because the whole point of planting the seed of fake news is that you won't know what to believe. The whole point of planting mediums like me and people, seers like me, like the Long Island medium and Tyler, I think his last name's Henry, right? And there's so many more. The reason why we're here is to show people, like, this isn't, it may be witchcraft, but witches come from the angel realm, and we're here to help and guide. And of course there's some, black witches. Of course they are. They learn too. They're like, I don't give a shit. I don't, and a lot of the dark witches their stuff is coming from trauma. from their human life or from past lives that have carried on before. So, we're here to get to the nitty gritty of it, and we're going to keep doing that. And I'm going to keep coming, and I'm going to keep showing up, And also, I think I kind of feel like I went this kind of full naked because I've been getting visions of things. And yesterday I was like, it's so weird because I've been wanting to do a new hairstyle, and I've had a vision for a while of what I want my hair to look like. And yesterday when I watched the podcast with them, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like really digging Taylor's hair right now. Her hair changes subtly, but it does change. And I'm kind of feeling like that kind of look because I don't want to go super short, but I don't want to, it's too long right now and it needs to be cut. I haven't cut my hair in like 3 years. I think I've given myself trims, but like I haven't like, no, that's not true. I cut my hair like 2 years ago. Was it 3 years ago? Maybe it was 3 years ago. I don't know. It's been so long. But I'm getting really like the more I'm waking up to my like who I really am, the more my power is coming back. I feel like the Lionsgate portal, for me personally, I feel like there's this part of me that's like, she's back. Meaning like spirit told me in meditation, we didn't, I feel like I've been trying to strive towards this more like monk type, like kumbaya energy of a light worker, because I'm so love and light, and I really am. But also they're like, we didn't create Southside Chicago Kelly for nothing. So it's like my job to like get in there, and it's my job to like confront and say like, here, you want to come for somebody, come for me. You want to put me on fucking the stand, put me on the stand. Want to know why? Because people, in my entire life, it happens to me all the time. Almost every time I am out somewhere, spirit puts people like our sitting American president, the people that put them into office. They put people like that in my wake where we have these great conversations. They're like, you're so sweet, you're so awesome. Or I'll say, I get this vibe, blah, blah, blah. And the second I tell them I'm a medium, it's like, oh, it's like, or if they're really religious, and I tell them that, it's like they instantly don't like me because they were programmed not to like me. They were programmed to think that, whatever. So I'm coming for you. I'm already here. I'm already here. And that's why I needed to struggle. And you guys had to see it. That's why my channels have been here for so long. Why there are thousands and thousands and thousands of videos that I've made now. I'm working with Bubba, showing like all parts of me so you guys can see it. Showing me, when, through all of my things, when I went through and I know what it's like to lose my home. I know what it's like to be scared and not know where to go. I know what it's like to live out of your car and be like, where can I go to be safe? All the campgrounds are full. I don't have any money. Where are we going to sleep? I know what that feels like. It's fucking scary. And it is people like the sitting American president that put them there, especially our military. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? You are doing what you are doing because of what they sacrificed for you, motherfucker. You fucking turn the other way, little rich boy. You know what I'm saying? You want to get real? Let's get real. You want to fucking rape women? You want to torture people? All I can say is I send you loving support, because if it doesn't happen in this lifetime, it will in the next. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. We've all had enough. Have you had enough? Stand up. This is your right. We the people, we created these, and you know what's really interesting is the loopholes in the Constitution were made by people like you who thought, oh, even though we beat you, even though we pushed back the redcoats, even though we defeated you for freedom, you've still been worming your way in. Well, we're worms too, right? It's time. Speak your truth, everybody. Stand up. This isn't about how much money you have, how much power. This is about remembering who you are, waking up to who you are, and saying, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to live like that. I won't accept that. We fought hard for this. Our ancestors fought hard for this. Don't forget. And if you found yourself to this video, you are one of the strongest light workers on the planet. And feel free to share any of this with anybody you know, or make a shorts out of it, you know, because this is how we work. There's nothing they can do to me that I haven't done to myself or my lineage has lived through that I feel. You can't kill me. You may kill my avatar, but you can't kill me. And you know what? You probably want me more here like this, because if I go back in spirit form, I'm like, what's that? I thought I saw a feather on there. Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. And I didn't come here to be tough girl, tough guy, tough person. I'm tough love is what I am. I'm tough love incarnate. Meaning, I love you and I'll hold space for you all day long. You want to cry? You want to talk about something? I got your back. Let's work through this together. But you want to come for me? You want to come for the people who are fighting just to stay alive? I saw this thing with Gwyneth Paltrow when she tried to go on food stamps and she couldn't do it. She's like, I couldn't do it. She admitted it. She's like, I couldn't do it. Yeah, because she's never been poor. If you've never been poor and you've never fought for food, you have no idea what it feels like. I have been on food assistance, and if I wasn't, I wouldn't have been able to make it. And I was meant to go on food assistance while I was going through my ascension process so that I could be who I was meant to be today, because I paid into that fucking system. I paid into that system since I was a young girl. I mean, I was a coat check girl at the local VFW when I was 13 years old. Of course, they paid me under the table, right? Because I wasn't legal to work. And that's cool that they let me do that, but I was 13. Alcohol and fights and, you know what I mean? Like, I worked the banquet hall, but I'll tell you something, you know, it's like there were weddings, there were, you know, school reunions, and like, it was like that kind of thing, local town where I grew up. We've changed and we've progressed a lot, but we still have a lot more to do. And if he's moving fast because he wants people to have the whiplash factor. He wants people to be feeling stuck and in fear. Don't let him. Or them. It's more than one, right? They're literally trying to take over our government, you guys. This is the South rising. This is how the South is coming back. Every single solitary thing we see is exactly what's happening. My family's from the South. I am telling you right now, and when I say the South, we know what I'm talking about, where the slave industry really, you know. So listen, this is how we fight back. Use your voice. You cannot have fear. You cannot have fear. You cannot fear the repercussions. You cannot fear the freedom that we were, the number one free will. That was what we were given as human beings. We were given free will by our Creator. No matter what you believe in, free will, that's real. But just because you can doesn't mean you should. And that's what my mama used to say. And that's the truth. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Meaning, like, just because he's doing these things doesn't mean we should allow it. Don't allow it. Don't allow it. Say, I don't fucking accept this. Now, we don't have to come in with hate. We come in with love. But when it gets dark, we stand our truth. And we speak our truth. And this whole time, my whole life, I've been literally gearing up for this. I used to call it my life college, but it's so much bigger than that. And I realize that now more than anything, how big this is and what I was made for. And why I worked in politics for so long. And why I saw the fakery and the fuckery. And why I know what he's doing. Why I can see what's happening. Even deeper than those who are seeing with the naked eye and beyond into our third eye. Stay woke. All right, that's all I'm going to say. I'm getting off my soapbox. It's been almost exactly an hour. I love you so much. Thank you for allowing me to be vulnerable. Thank you for allowing me to speak the truth that I see it and the way that it's downloaded to me through Spirit. I love you so much. Spirit loves you. Take really good care of yourselves and each other. The next 6 months, he's going to do everything he can to rock the boat. we're on high alert. And remember that eclipse season is right around the corner. And eclipse season coming in on a full moon. Woo. But Taylor's coming in. You know why? 10, it's coming. Her album's dropping on the 3rd. She goes, get it? 10/13. So, woo, baby. Lots of light. And the holidays is going to be good. The light's going to be keeping and going. I love you so much. I'll see you. And stay tuned. More readings are coming. All right. I love you. I love you. Bye. Blessed be. Oh.